Welcome back to another exciting episode of LA Fishguys. We're going to do something just a little bit different today. We're going to go visit another Service Guys tank, more true LA Fish guys, as opposed to just Jim Stime and aquarium design. My friend Cande, he helped us set up that fancy cylinder tank a couple years ago. He's got a large service route himself. One of the tanks that he does is about a 500-gallon, 3/4 round tank with about 100 Rose Anemones inside there. So come on with us as we go and visit another exciting aquarium in the Los Angeles area. So hey Cande, so how are you today?
I'm good. Yourself, Jim?
Good. So Cande has an aquarium maintenance business himself by the name of Tropical Illusions. He services a pretty wide area, which is what? West LA, Santa Monica, down to the South Bay?
That is correct.
Okay, and we're going to be looking at a large anemone tank today, yes?
Yes, that is correct. This I call the Rose Garden.
The Rose Garden. Now there you go.
Yes.
That's a very clever name. What can you tell us about the tank?
Well, the tank's been up and running for quite some time. It's been it was from a 180-gallon aquarium, and we moved up to a 500-gallon.
Oh my, that's big jump.
And these anemones have been reproducing like wild daisies or wild. Yeah.
So you're not introducing these. These are all daughters or relatives or siblings of a first one or two that was in there.
That is correct.
And how many would you say are in there now?
There is about close to about 100 of them.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Well, take us in. Show us this tank here.
Come on in.
All right. Thank you. So what do you got here?
Well, this is all the equipment, stuff to protect people's floor to make sure you do a clean job.
Yes.
And basically, I have my vacuums, my clips for my hoses, and my extension arms. Basically, these are like my arms to reach into the hard to reach places.
Right.
And I have my hoses and everything in here required to do the job.
Good. Well, you're all set. You're the mobile aquarium service guy.
Yes, I am.
Well, let's see your big tank.
Well, come on in.
Thank you. Oh my, very nice.
Thank you.
So this is a 3/4 inch round tank. So it's obviously got what, a flat back side?
Yes, correct. It's flat back, 90 degrees from the back. It sits flushly against the corner. And it swings all the way around like a three-quarter tank.
And that's a looks like a brushed aluminum base and canopy on there.
That is correct. The front comes out, slides in, has a metal base. Metal base, easy to slide out.
Wow.
Not metal.
Oh, that's quite the filter system in there.
And this is our filter system.
Now people will take note that appears to be bio-balls in there. So you've got a wet-dry trickle filter with a large, what is that, a G4, G5 protein skimming?
Protein skimmer, yes.
Wow, and then UV sterilizers and
P2 UV sterilizer.
Oh, there's a couple of big pumps in there too.
That is correct. One runs a 1 horsepower chiller that's underneath the house.
Oh, okay, so there's a chiller as well.
There's a chiller that's underneath the house that it's underneath there for to maintain itself cool. It helps maintain the chiller at a cool level.
Consistent temperature.
At a consistent temperature, and as you can see, one pump runs through the canister filter.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that. So there's a big canister filter in there as well.
That goes through there and it filters out.
Now, is there a pleated cartridge in that canister filter?
That is correct.
Okay.
And from there, it goes through the UV, and it returns back into the aquarium.
Wow.
The system is set up where it has, if I needed to do maintenance on the UV and I needed to bypass it, it has a bypass system. As you can tell with all the valves, I mean everything is accessible, and it's you're able to take it out and do a quick maintenance on it.
Yeah, you do have a lot of valves, and that's very impressive. Okay, so go ahead and tell us a little bit about what's in the tank.
There's an array of animals. This is more of a community reef tank. We have a blue tang that's been in there over 13 years.
A blue tang, 13 years old.
13 years old, that is
Goodness.
correct. Him and Krusty, the clownfish, the percolator clown.
Oh.
They've been in there 13 years. But other guys, you know, they're anywhere from 5, 6 years on up. Some of them, you know, are new. The pinstripe Melanoris wrasse is new. The mystery wrasse, and some more additions of the Bartlett Anthias. These are females turning into males, as you can see the lighter pink.
Oh yeah.
Coming in where the full pink dominance of the male comes in. There's fathead Anthias in there, flame angels. As you can see, all of the Rose Anemones that are in there. The zoas, you know, there was just one rock on zoas, and as you can see, they're everywhere.
And those are big, not only big colonies, but big individual polyps as well.
That is correct.
And a big, huge bubble coral.
There's a Duncan's that's starting to reproduce.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
There's only 3 heads. And there's a Acan that's orange with a tint of blue. It changed colors. What I noticed with the new system of LEDs, certain cores I've noticed the color will change on them due to the spectrum. There's a clan that's on this side also, as you can see.
Oh yeah, right there.
And then we have green assorted mushrooms, as they call, with there's feather dusters.
Wow.
We have a round Wolsophilia brain. The bottom right now is shrunken in, and there's a cleaner shrimp. There's banded coral shrimp. There's seed stars. There's a Fungia plate.
Oh yeah, I see him there.
You know, there's various types of different rock in here. There's branch slab rock. There's Fiji rock. There's Marshall Islands.
How many pounds of rock would you say is in this tank?
I would say there's close to about maybe 2,000 pounds of rock in there.
2,000 pounds of rock.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
There's star polyps. But most of all, what we have are a lot of roses. They've taken over the tank.
And so they just reproduce on their own?
They reproduce on their own. You know, as you can see, there's small babies that are about, say, about a quarter size.
Right.
To saucer size, you know.
Almost a field of anemones over here. So there's what, an internal overflow on the back side of the tank, and that in turn leads down to your wet-dry trickle filter.
That is correct.
It's not a sump or anything or refugium, it's a wet-dry trickle filter.
Dry, that is correct.
And then that in turn has that big protein skimmer in there. Well, the water's drawn up, and part of it goes through the chiller, and part of it goes through the UV and that big pleated canister, and then that comes back into the tank back there in those returns.
That is correct. When we plumbed this tank out, we plumbed it out to where we didn't have to drill any holes underneath. In the back of this rock, there is 1.5 inch PVC pipe that comes out that is like a
spray bar.
A spray bar that's sprayed out, one on each side and one in the center. So there are jets that are behind each side. There's a jet that's right here, and there's jets that are behind to keep the water movement in order not to build up a lot of sediment or a lot of particles building up on the rock.
Underneath the rock or on the rock?
On the rock and underneath the rock.
And then I see an intake strainer there in the back.
That is correct.
That's for one of those big spa pumps?
No, that goes directly in the overflow, goes down.
Okay.
That's just to accommodate the amount of water that's going in there, you know.
Okay. So all that water exits via that internal overflow in the back, and those two big strainers are just additional aids to allow water into the internal overflow.
That is correct.
And then all of that comes down here into this wet-dry trickle filter.
There are 2 sides. Right.
Okay.
This side and this other side.
Okay.
Then we have bioballs in there.
Okay. Okay.
And as you can see, you know how the anemones reproduce. There are babies right there, and there are babies that are underneath.
Oh yeah. So the ones that don't attach right away go through the overflow and end up passing down here into the wet-dry trickle filter, and then just start reproducing down here in the sump.
That is correct.
All right, so this is a big metal stand that this tank is sitting on, and that looks like a very kind of custom wet-dry trickle filter, because it's got those bent or mitered corners there. And then there's where the two pumps draw up the water, and those two pumps do what kind of volume?
They do.
That's a reflow hammerhead, and that's what, 4,500 gallons an hour?
That is correct.
And the other one is a
Same.
Okay, so it does similar flow, about 4,500 gallons an hour.
That is correct.
Wow. Wow. Okay. And a nice big protein skimmer too. Okay, now, Cande tells me that he makes up the salt water himself.
That is correct.
Basically, right out of the faucet and right at the customer's location. So here's all his goodies down inside here.
Hydrometer. Your most essential thing to have to do a water change. Without this, do not mess with the aquarium.
Yeah, you got to know what the salt level is.
Aquarium,
right.
Especially if it's a reef tank.
Yes.
And this is our first thing. We'll take all these things out of here. These are all my test kits, elements, filter pads.
So just to make sure I heard what he said, this beautiful tank gets its salt water made right out of the faucet? Blasphemy or possibility? Come on back for part 2.